My dad, who was from Kentucky, used to say, whenever I'd complain about somebody or something, he'd say, "Judge not, and you will not be judged." I think that's from the Bible. Of course, my dad was judging people constantly too, and being from Kentucky, and being a Catholic, he had his own strong opinions about everything. But he really liked to used to say that. And for some reason it has stuck in my head. And I think that's really such an important part of how we need to attend to our daily life if we're really going to grow. We have to understand, first of all, that everybody gets to paint their own canvas. And for the most part, we're not art critics. I am, in fact, familiar with Asian painting and sculpture to the degree that, I could probably be considered an art critic, but mostly I just pay attention to what I like, and I don't criticize what I don't. I just don't even deal with it. But there's a lot of amazing art, and there are a lot of amazing people, and there are a lot of extraordinarily creative circumstances in our life that we have to give the space to really allow them to more fully come into their own and express themselves. And to that end, rather than seeing the negative in people and in circumstances, it's very much more productive and important to train ourselves to see and speak to the positive. It takes no brain at all to complain. It takes no brain at all. Destruction is the most ordinary thing human beings do, and they do a hell of a lot of it. If we really want to grow as human beings, if we want to grow spiritually, we have to begin to, first of all, reach through the tensions and the negativity and the judgment that we have for ourselves. And by attending to the energy centers in our body, begin to open our hearts and open our minds to find within ourselves a sweetness and love that is present in everyone. It's present in everyone. Now, don't take this the wrong way, but I'm going to say it doesn't matter how big an asshole you think the person is. I promise you, it's present. And when we begin to change the wiring in our brains and start to find and live from a deeper and finer place within ourselves, we also then create an environment around us that can begin to magnetize and evoke something deeper and finer in the people we share our lives with. And we can also begin to appreciate and learn from the uniquenesses that express themselves through that person or those people or in those circumstances. My own personal experience is there is almost nothing that we believe that is actually true. Most of the belief that we fill our heads and our lives with just isn't true. It isn't true. What is true in our lives, the first and simplest, most basic, truest thing is your breath. Why? Because if you're breathing, you're alive. And you can believe that. If it ain't breathing, it ain't alive. At least not on the level it once was. It may be alive with bacteria, but it is not a functioning complex organism anymore. And to attend to the breath and follow the breath within ourselves is to awaken inside us a whole different quality of life experience that instead of filled with judgment and tension and struggle is filled with gratitude, appreciation, beauty, and ultimately love. And at the end of the day, what really matters is not our judgments of others or even our beliefs. At the end of the day, what matters is our heart open and are we living our life with love? That's what matters. Are you bringing to your days tensions and fear and judgment? Are you bringing to your days sweetness and kindness and compassion and love? And the thing is, it seems to me, and I could be wrong, but it seems to me that the pressures on the environment and the population pressures on Earth are getting difficult. And, they say by 2050, there's going to be 14 billion people on Earth, which is twice as many people as there are now. And it's really possible that the Earth can't really sustain that many people, no matter how much technology we have or believe in. It just may not work. And so I think if we're going to survive as a species, and we have to really begin, and it begins with each person. We can't say, okay, Democrats have to believe in love now, because it's never going to happen. It starts with us. It starts with each of us. It starts when we begin to understand and take responsibility for the quality of our life and the quality of our interactions, and understand that, really we need to support the people we share our lives with, not knock them down. We need to listen to the people we share our lives with, not just shut them off. We need to be able to be aware of the subtle connection that we share with one another that, makes our lives richer and stronger and makes our days sweeter and finer. And those connections are really the foundation upon which we build our lives together. Nobody else can make us happy. We have to make ourselves happy. Nobody can do that for us. You can't make your husbands happy. You can't make your wives happy. Everybody has to take responsibility for their own happiness. Because each of us gets to paint our own canvas. But when we start to take responsibility for our own happiness, it's natural and easy that happiness overflows through the connections that we have into the lives of the people we share our lives with. And I have to say, the hardest people to actually not be judgmental of is probably our family. And my family has just been driving me crazy the last few months after my father has passed away. My father died, in late January. And I've heard it said after that you really find out what your siblings are like when your parents die. And, oh boy, it has been a trial. I should say it is a trial. But, I'm still working on the idea that I really need to open my heart and love and support these people. And, keep an open space for them that will allow them to work through all the whatever issues it is that they have around all this, so that ultimately we can come to a much finer and more deeply rich experience of our innate connectedness. I think it's really important that we judge not and, are not judged. Because all these judgments are just, our tense reaction to a moment in time that is really an expression of a denial of an unimaginable possibility that exists in everyone. And it is that possibility that we hope to make alive within ourselves. It is that possibility, and the joy and the love that goes along with it that we hope, our lives will be enriched by and an expression of. And it's also, we want to give everybody that we're connected with the space to find that for themselves. And it's important to. So going forward, let's carry our own weight. Let's be responsible for our own happiness, and let's not judge anyone. Let's find the positive in ourselves, find the beauty in ourselves, see the beauty in others, and grow the love. Because without that, actually, life is just like an endless repetition of the same dullness. I mean, endless repetition. Every day is Groundhog Day. So I'm going to leave tomorrow for India. I'll be gone for about 2 months, probably. Maybe less. Now that my mother lives here, I'm feeling all kinds of pressure to come back early, as soon as possible. She's pressuring me. Not overtly, but, because I've lived with her for my entire life, I know what she means when she says, "You go and have a good time." It has been an extraordinary summer, and I think, for me, one of the busiest summers I've had in 20 years. And the quality of the work that has happened this summer, from the staff here at the Movement Center to the people who take care of the grounds, all our garden crew, to the Rudra Press staff and the kitchen people who've worked so hard. Everything has just been beautiful here. I have to say, it's been one of the most amazing experiences that we've had in a long time. Just wonderful. And, so of course I regret leaving because of that. It's felt so good. And I will, for that reason, I'm sure, be back as soon as I can. And the other thing is, India is completely on an order of magnitude none of you who haven't been there can understand. It is insane. It is crazy place. Oh. And I'm not the young yogi I once was, you know. I can't go like living in a cave for a month in 115 degree weather, and takes too long to get over it. So, but I am committed to this particular practice period, and however intense it is, I will do it. And while I'm doing it, I will be thinking of you all and sending you any blessings that accrue to me in the process of this practice, and, you know, continuing to pray every night, all night long, for your benefit. Earlier in the spring, you know, we were having some conversation, and my dear friend Carrie Kaplan was saying to me that, now he's going, uh-oh. He was saying to me, I know there's a lot of people who criticize you, but there's a lot of people who love you too. Thank you for loving me. Namaste.